It's not just Spirit Airlines struggling with the rising cost of fuel. All of the big four carriers, American, Delta, United, and Southwest, reported a strong first quarter, but most of their gains were offset by the price of fueling their planes. Now we're seeing airlines get creative in order to boost their bottom line. Al Root is an associate editor at Barron's and joins us now. Creative usually means little odds and ends things that you and I are going to be paying more for. So what
Yes.
are we seeing?
Bag fees are going up. But even more simply, airfares are going up. The average domestic airfare is up about very roughly 20% since the start of fighting in Iran. The average international flights up about 10%. That from a dollar perspective, it adds more money to the international flight, which is like $1,000. So it's going to get more expensive. You're going to pay more for bags. Now, to defend airlines, oil prices, jet fuel prices in particular, are up more than 100% year over year. It's 25 to 35% of their cost, depending on the day. So it's a really tough operating environment.
I mean, you raise prices, you're going to be shutting people out. People are going to
Mhm.
fly less. So is this sustainable? And I know the airline CEOs have accepted that as much, basically saying we're going to do this and we know we're going to sell fewer seats. So is this
Mhm.
sustainable?
There's two ways to answer that. One is how long are oil prices going to be elevated? Definitely through the third quarter, and hopefully things normalize. If you look at like a Wall Street estimate, they see 2027 as normal, but that assumes that everything just goes back to the way it was. It doesn't really. It's not really a forecast on how the world turns out. If you look at GE Aerospace, a supplier of engines to airlines, they were talking about like 5% global growth in air traffic demand. Now that might be flat year over year in 2026 because of this war. They're assuming oil prices drop in the fourth quarter. So that's the magnitude of sort of the number of people getting shut out, about 5% off of growth. And it could be worse if oil prices stay elevated into the end of the year.
So if this does prolong, what impact will they have? Could we see buyouts beyond Spirit? We expect to see mergers.
Mergers aren't the answer, to be honest. United and American. There was that rumor. American put out a press release, said basically we have no interest. It would never happen from an antitrust perspective. The Spirit Airlines bailout is as nice as it is, potentially, and noble as it is to save the airline. It is about 2% market share. It's gone bankrupt twice. If it is saved, it will go bankrupt again. That's not really the solution. The solution for airfares is really oil prices. The airlines are still profitable, and the industry structure is okay, right? You have three really large airlines: United, American, and Delta, and of course Southwest. So it's not really such a market share problem as it is just a good old fashioned oil is really expensive.
Al Root, thank you.